Hey everyone, I thought I'd make a video on how to do revision effectively and also what I do for my revision and my revision process. Basically everything I do to most effectively revise all the content that I need to. I really hope this is helpful for you and will give you some ideas and things you can do to make your revision more effective as well. It's probably important to note down here that to do effective revision you kind of need to have taken notes as you covered your subject's content. If you haven't or normally don't, you should definitely look at developing a system of note-taking that works for you. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to make a video on systems of note-taking. If you already take notes and would like some tips, I've put a video link up right here on that, and I'll pop that link in the description as well. Right, let's jump right into it. The first thing is to use flashcards. Here you can either make flashcards as you cover content or you can make them when you start revision. Do whatever works for you. Sometimes I make flashcards as I study and other times I just do it at the end of a topic. If you're planning to use flashcards, I would strongly suggest making them throughout an academic year and definitely not just as you start revision for finals. So when I say make flashcards as you start revision, I'm kind of assuming that you're planning on doing a revision throughout the year, and not just for final exams. And on the topic of flashcards, there's always the question of, do I use actual flashcards as in paper flashcards or like online flashcards? And a knowing answer is there's no right answer to this. I personally find that paper flashcards work better for me, but it's up to you. If you do majority of your study online, then I think that online flashcards may work better for you, and all you have to do for that is to download an app such as Quizlet, which I'll link to in the description as well. It's totally free and it's a great resource. Also, if you're easily distracted online, then paper flashcards are probably the way to go. After all, it's about studying smarter, not harder. Same goes with revision. The second thing you need to do to have really effective revision is to leave yourself enough time. This is absolutely vital and should probably be the number one thing on your list. Depending on what you're revising for, such as an exam or just for general revision throughout a year, it will depend on how much time you will need. Also, keep in mind that certain topics will always take longer than others, even if they seem to be about the same length. For example, a chapter in math might take a lot longer, or probably will take a lot longer than revising a chapter of psychology. Just because math revision will probably entail a lot of practice questions. A lot of the time we can allow all the deadlines to pile up and it can be easy to start revision super close to exams. Cramming is not a substitute for proper revision. It's just not. It may kind of work in the short term, but in the long run, it is really not efficient or effective. Okay, review your notes. This is super simple, just read through your notes. When I do this, I always have a highlighter on hand as well as sticky notes. If you take notes with a margin, then you can add notes in there as well, or just summarize to help work your brain. Having a textbook handy is also a really great idea. As I read through my notes, I highlight any key terms and just really try and work on refreshing my memory. In terms of reading over notes, this is probably something you should do each week. Yes, you need to read notes each week and revise quite often. Reading over your notes each week leads up to having more knowledge in your head and less to revise before any exams. It takes a lot of the stress off you, which in turn helps you be more efficient and effective. Experiments have actually shown that you forget roughly half of what you learn in the first half hour after you learn it. Yep, depressing. The next time you have a lesson and one of your teachers or lecturers says, "I bet you'll forget half of that," you're welcome to tell them they're correct. Scientifically proven. Another great way to revise is to explain concepts you've learned to someone else. Being able to explain a topic really well likely means that you have a very solid understanding of the topic. and trying to explain a concept is a good way to test this. If no one wants to listen to you explain concepts, because they say you're too boring, then explain it to your dog. Don't have a dog? Try the cat. You don't have a cat? Try the wall. Please don't tell me you don't have a wall. Okay, and if you really can't talk to the wall, just explain the concept aloud to yourself. That works just as well. A further thing to do in revision is to make very, very short summaries. This is probably something that has helped me a lot, if not the most. Not only does it give you a very condensed version that you can read just before an exam or when you have a break, it helps you decide what information you already know and what is important to study more so you do know. Because if in a condensed summary that you cannot fit everything in, you are happy to exclude certain things, it probably means you know those things, right? So basically just go make a condensed summary of your summaries. And when I say condensed, I mean condensed. A guide I like to follow is that one topic or a few chapters should really fit into a paragraph or less, and not like one of those one-page long paragraphs. This is just a rough guide and something that you can keep in mind if you're not too sure on how condensed is condensed. So it definitely may vary, keep that in mind. This isn't at all a hard and fast rule. Okay, so last tip, just practice. You've probably heard this before, but it helps. If it's math, do heaps of problems. If you're not entirely sure if what you've done is considered heaps, then I've got some news for you. You haven't done enough. If it's psychology, read those experiments until you have them memorized backwards and side to sides and diagonally. Okay, that doesn't really make sense, but you awesome people get the point. If it's English, can you write a 2,000 word essay without opening the book? Maybe that's a little bit exaggerated, but again, I'm sure you get the point here. Righto, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if this was helpful so you can get more videos like this. Happy revising!